Welcome to the Turbo Cinema channel. This time, we're going to talk to you about the movie Hurt Me Rockin' Love, which premiered in 2026. While handing out flyers for her band's concert, the rock star Seung-min, who captured everyone's hearts, fell in love at first sight with him. But when they started talking, it turned out he was her friend's younger brother. Whether he knew or not, who knows, but it turns out that her longtime crush, who is now a university student, also secretly liked her. Apparently, they both had a crush on each other since they were kids. He mustered up the courage and came to the concert that evening. The band Emergency Aid makes hearts race like a 911 call. As the night went on, the concert's energy shook the crowd, but at its peak, he was nowhere to be found. His pants always seem to rip in the most awkward places. But with all the adrenaline pumping, Seung-min doesn't even notice. His fans try really hard to let him know. He finally realized his pants had ripped after reading a note from a fan. When Seung-min, flustered, tries to zip up, it turns out there's nothing left at all. Whether it's zipped or not, everything just tears wide open. When he screams in pain, his teammates just think he's starting the song. To make matters worse, this song happens to be one he wrote for his crush. Seung-min, who was in pain, just keeps screaming, call Turgan, as loud as he can. Meanwhile, the fans are all shouting back, yes, yes! It's no wonder. After all, the band is called Turgan Help, so it's not surprising at all. Who would have known from the start that Turgan Help would actually be needed? That sensitive part is gone. He's completely lost all his composure. And on top of that, he's dying of embarrassment. He tries to hide his face, but his friend is still calling out his name. But what can you do? He figured his face was less important, so his friend covered up the other part instead. After this incident, he became someone who mocked others' courage, but also ended up having his own dramatic moment on stage in front of everyone. Time passed, and Seung-min never set foot on stage again. Instead, he ended up selling musical instruments. He never managed to confess his first love, and she ended up going abroad. They never crossed paths again. At work, Seung-min often shares this old story with his younger colleague, almost as if he's trying to lighten his own burden. Seung-min has a daughter named Soo-yeon from elementary school age. Even though he's divorced from his wife, he raises his daughter in a very harmonious way. He may be a bit rough around the edges, but he's a really good father. He loves his daughter very much. They cook together, they play together. Even though his lifelong friend from the band tried to introduce him to someone, he doesn't seem interested at all. He doesn't care one bit. He always talks about his daughter, never about himself. But the woman who came soon left the table and walked away. Just another ordinary day passed by, and while he was standing at work polishing his instrument as usual, what happened? Suddenly, his first love walked into his shop pulling a suitcase behind her. She, on the other hand, acted all cool, speaking French like a native, while Seung-min, flustered, pretended not to recognize her. She even asked, as if giving a gift to someone important, "What should I write in the greeting? What would your wife say if she were here?" But Seung-min said he didn't have a wife. Then it seemed like she was subtly trying to find out if he had a girlfriend. When he said he didn't, she replied, "Come on, it's me, Buna. Don't you recognize me?" Seung-min pretended not to recognize her at all, acting clueless, while Buna insisted it was her, and when she left, the Korean guy was left dumbfounded. That evening, the two of them agreed to meet up for a walk. Our Seung-min even ironed his clothes until they were perfectly crisp, getting all dressed up and making a big deal out of preparing. When it was time for the date, Seung-min showed up riding his red vehicle. Buna, on the other hand, was trying hard to act cool, switching languages left and right, speaking here in one language, there in another. Maybe in 6 or 7 languages altogether. The two of them spent the whole night chatting away, having a genuinely great time together. At the party, there was an awkward moment when someone stuck a No Kids badge on his chest, which turned out to be a movement for people who don't want to have children. It's basically a group for people who want to live without taking on the responsibility of having kids. Buna, it turns out, is just like those people in that movement. She actually says she doesn't like kids at all. Seung-min, on the other hand, just goes along with whatever she says. Yeah, and those two, lost in love, spend the night together? Buna, you don't have kids, right? Huh? What? No kids, no kids, just making things up and went over there. Seung-min, feeling guilty for saying she didn't have a daughter, spends the next few days in a kind of trial, watching her younger colleague at work. She tries to listen to her own thoughts about her daughter in a roundabout way. At the next date, Seung-min tries to subtly hint about her daughter, attempting to introduce the topic. Over the past period, even though these two had been apart, deep down, they had always cared for each other and would occasionally think of one another. Now, after meeting again after such a long time, both of them are cherishing this reunion and thinking of it fondly. While they are opening up to each other like this, the two children nearby are being quite mischievous and noisy, making it impossible for them to have any peace and quiet. Buna kept glaring at the two of them, and finally, unable to hold back any longer, she said a few harsh words to the parents and left. Seeing this, Simi, instead of scolding her child, started talking about something completely unrelated and tried to change the subject. It was as if Simi spent all day and night wondering what to say to her daughter and what to say to Buna. For the next few days, she tried hard to keep her daughter and Buna from meeting each other. When Buna came home, she would gather up all her daughter's things, leave her daughter, then lay everything out, pack it up, lay it out again, pack it up again, over and over. She truly turned into two completely different people. As for the daughter, she was quite sharp. She could immediately tell when her father had gotten a new girlfriend. Actually, it shouldn't be like that. Tried leaving the daughter with Sim's ex-wife for a while, but the ex, who is about to give birth any day now, says she can't look after her at the moment. This ex is that same Fen, you know? So it's something to do with Fenty. Alright, never mind about that. That situation continues for a while. His daughter even asks, "Dad, do you love that girlfriend of yours?" He says he does. Then she asks, "If you have someone you love, why didn't you tell me?" She keeps asking, "Are you embarrassed because of me, or are you embarrassed because of your girlfriend?" What a sharp daughter. So Sim explained to his daughter, even telling her that he has a trauma related to taking care of children. After hearing this, his daughter was quite upset, thinking he must have been hiding it from her. Your daughter's relationship at school isn't going very well either. She's still so young, yet already talking about relationships and such. Maybe she's just a bit too clever. Her boyfriend ended up leaving her for another girl. Honestly, it's probably for the best. But one day, how long can this secret really last? While Semgi and Bana were out on a date, the girl suddenly showed up. Bans is Semgi's type. Then the girl came in and called him little brother. She's secretly keeping it from her dad. She can't tell the truth now. She just has to keep pretending like this. The girl had heard that if you tell the truth to someone with trauma, something really terrible can happen. Now the girl is even teaming up with her dad to keep up the lie. They're acting just like real siblings. Bana, having heard all this, is completely shocked. What? How can you have a 9-year-old little brother? Then she's like, why are you only telling me this now? The next few days for those three are pretty rough. The girl doesn't like Suyeon, and Bana doesn't like Suyeon either. But then inevitably one day, Suyeon's close friend from school and his wife are both unavailable and not answering their phones. His junior colleague at work got into an accident and can't make it. Sammy himself is busy receiving goods and can't help either. So it ends up that only Bana can be asked for help. So Suyeon and Bana ended up spending a day together like this. Well, what can you do? They managed to get through another busy day. The two of them, who can't even manage to go on a proper date next to Suyeon. Sammy's mom gave them both 2 days off, so Bana and Suyeon finally got a chance to go on a date together like this. No, that's not it. But then the plan fell apart. Her older sister is about to give birth any day now. So the three of them ended up going on the trip together. In other words, it turned into a family trip after all the arguing. During this trip, Suyoung and Buna spent some busy but lovely time together. It seems like they started to understand each other a bit better too. The trip went on without much to do, and they ended up spending a lot of time just hanging around. But as the saying goes, trouble comes out of nowhere. While the three of them were walking and talking, a terrifyingly angry dog almost attacked Suyoung. It charged at her fiercely. There was no acting or pretending here. Frightened, Suyoung started crying out, "Dad! Dad!" But then Sammy said, "Are you okay, my daughter?" And their act ended with those words. Seeing this, Buna realized the whole truth and got furious, thinking they even made the child lie and tricked me into meeting them. No matter how much Sammy tried to explain, things obviously didn't go as she hoped. And so, the two of them end up breaking up. For a while, Sammy goes through a period of denial. She stops leaving the house and even stops going to work. On the other hand, although Buna misses Sammy, she just can't forgive her for lying. After all, how could she forgive someone who hid her own child? Her daughter, though, is really adorable. She comes to Buna's workplace and waits to meet her. She says, "My dad really likes you." She adds, "If you don't like me, I can just live with my mom." She begs, "Please get back together with my dad." Really persistent. Such a clever kid, honestly. Buna gently explains and says that she just can't do it herself. Hearing this, Suyeon is left speechless. She says, "You promised before, remember?" She says, "Come see my performance at school," and then leaves. Their conversation ends just like that after talking about these things. Time passes and now it's time for Sooyeon's performance at the school. Sooyeon is singing with her male friend. She sings very sweetly, just like her father. Sammy watches her with eyes full of pride. But then Buna also shows up to watch Sooyeon's performance. When Sammy sees her, she instinctively runs after her. Buna doesn't say a word. She doesn't even look at her, not even with one eye. Sammy is once again filled with sadness. She just lies at home looking miserable. But her daughter, even though she's still young, was talking about having a boyfriend or something, wasn't she? She even reunited with her ex, believe it or not. When her father saw this, he asked about it. He said, "Weren't you just saying you broke up with my daughter not long ago? And now you're back together, stuck to each other like glue? But that boy is something else too." He really chased after her persistently to get back together with Sooyeon. Even when she said she wouldn't get back together, he got down on his knees and begged her. And apparently it was just as Sooyeon said. Does love really come back like that? They say that even though love may wander here and there, if it's true love, it always finds its way back. Hearing this, a spark goes off in Sammy's mind. So Zarig decides to go and propose. Meanwhile, on the other side, Buna is getting everything in Korea sorted out and is preparing to leave Korea for good, never to return. She looks at the photo she took for Sammy and feels sad. She went outside to look for him. Meanwhile, Sammy is standing there, ready to introduce himself to her again and sing a song he wrote just for her. He still remembers the conversation they had a long time ago. It seems he wrote this song inspired by that conversation. It's the same song he failed to perform at that other concert. Our Sammy has a trauma about singing in front of others, but love conquered everything. Despite his fears, he decided to open up his heart to her. The song began. Through the lyrics of this song, he poured out all his feelings to her and pleaded for them to get back together. She didn't want to give him another chance to meet again. He confessed that, although he once thought she was just a fleeting first love he let slip away, he still loved her just as much as before, even after all these years, and didn't want to lose her again. He pleaded once more, saying that even after 10 or 20 years, his feelings would remain the same, and asked her to forgive him just this one time. Moved by his words, Buna embraced and kissed him, and the two of them got back together. In the end, after all these years, and with no secrets left between them, the two finally reunite, and just as they once strolled together in the wind, the film concludes with them together. Thank you to our listeners for being with Turbo Kino channel. Please make sure to watch the movie we are recommending to you. Until we meet again with the next movie, goodbye for now.